Let me tell you something. Life isn't going to always be sunshine and roses. There will be days when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, when it feels like nothing is going right. And in those moments, we tend to think we're being punished, that maybe we're not good enough, that this is it, we've hit rock bottom. But let me tell you, you're not being punished, you're being prepared. You see, it's in those tough times that you find out who you really are. It's easy to be happy when things are going your way, but it's how you respond when things are going wrong that shapes you. That's when you find your strength. That's when you discover your resilience. And when you come out on the other side, you'll realize that you're not the same person who went into the struggle. But here's the thing. We can't appreciate the good days without the bad ones. We wouldn't recognize victory without a taste of defeat. If every day was perfect, we wouldn't know what hard work is. We wouldn't know the joy of a well-earned success. So those bad days, they're necessary. They teach us to value what we have, and they show us just how much we're capable of enduring and overcoming. But you've got to keep pushing forward. It's easy to quit. It's easy to walk away. But the real test is how you handle those bad days. Do you give up or do you stand up? Dust yourself off and keep going. That's what separates the winners from the rest. Persistence, the courage to keep going even when the road seems impossible. And I want you to understand there is purpose in the pain. There is a lesson in every hardship, every failure, every setback. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Let it teach you. Let it make you better, stronger, and ready for whatever comes next. Because that's the secret to a good life. It's not about avoiding the bad days, but learning how to turn them into the stepping stones to something better. So remember this, a good life needs some bad days too. Embrace them, learn from them, keep going. And when you come out on the other side, you'll know you earned every good day you have ahead. Pain, failure, and setbacks are often seen as obstacles, things that stand between us and our goals, or as signs that we're not cut out for what we want to achieve. We think that if we just avoid them, if we can somehow bypass the tough times, we'll get to where we want to be faster. But in reality, the struggles we face are often the most important parts of the journey. They shape us in ways we don't immediately see. They teach us lessons that success can't. And while we may wish for smooth paths and easy victories, it's through the toughest moments that we truly grow. The truth is, pain and failure are not just inevitable, they are necessary. They are part of the fabric of life, like the threads that make up a strong rope. Without them, we wouldn't know how strong we are. Without the failures, we wouldn't know how to bounce back. And without setbacks, we wouldn't know how to adjust, how to fight through adversity, and how to truly appreciate success when it comes. There's a quote that says, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." It's one of those sayings that sounds good on paper, but we don't always want to believe it when we're in the thick of things. When things are falling apart, when we've made mistakes, when everything feels like it's going in the wrong direction, it's easy to think that we're being punished or that we're not meant to succeed. But it's in those moments that we discover something about ourselves we wouldn't otherwise know. We find out how resilient we are, how much grit we have, how willing we are to keep going when the road ahead seems impossible. The thing about pain is that it's universal. Everyone faces it in some form or another. No one is exempt. And yet, the way we handle it is what defines us. When we experience pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or psychological, we're presented with a choice: to give into it or to use it as fuel to propel us forward. You can't control the pain, but you can control how you respond to it. Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? There's a strength that comes from enduring difficult times. And that strength doesn't just appear when things are easy. It grows in the moments of struggle, when you're exhausted and you don't think you can take another step. It's in those moments when you show yourself what you're truly made of. It's in those moments when your character is forged. You might not feel it immediately, but every time you push through, you're becoming a little bit stronger, a little bit more capable. And let's talk about failure for a minute. Everyone wants to avoid failure. We're taught from a young age that failure is something to be ashamed of, something to hide. But what if we changed the way we saw failure? What if we looked at it not as something that sets us back, but as something that moves us forward? Failure isn't the end. It's a lesson, a signpost along the way. When we fail, we learn where we need to grow, where we need to adjust, where we need to try something different. Every failure teaches us something valuable. If you're not failing, you're not learning. And if you're not learning, you're not growing. People who succeed aren't those who've never failed. They're the ones who failed and then got back up and failed again and then got up again. They're the ones who took those failures, looked at them honestly, and learned how to move forward. Failure is a teacher if we're willing to let it be. It's not the end of the road. It's a part of the journey that shows us the way forward. Setbacks are a form of failure too, but they can be even harder to handle. A setback can feel like a blow to your entire future. You might have been so close to your goal, you could taste it, and then out of nowhere, things don't go as planned. You get knocked back maybe even farther than where you started. It's discouraging, it's frustrating, and it can make you want to quit. But here's the thing, setbacks don't mean that you won't get there. They don't mean that your dreams are impossible. Setbacks are just part of the process. They force you to look at things from a different angle, to reassess your approach, and sometimes to be more creative or more patient than you thought you needed to be. What matters is how you handle those setbacks. Do you let them stop you, or do you let them teach you? Every successful person has faced setbacks. The ones who made it weren't the ones who never had any. They were the ones who kept moving forward, even when they had to take detours, even when they felt like they were starting over. Setbacks are often the moments that build the most character. They show you what you're made of. They show you how badly you want something, and if you want it badly enough, you'll find a way through the setback. The bad days, the tough moments, the failures and the setbacks, they're not the things that define you. What defines you is how you rise from them, how you learn from them, how you use them to build a better version of yourself. Pain is temporary. Failure is temporary. But the strength you gain from them, the lessons you learn from them, and the character you build through them, they stay with you forever. So next time you face a tough time, don't run from it. Don't avoid it. Embrace it. Understand that this is the moment where growth happens. This is the moment where your resilience is being tested, where your future is being shaped, and where you are becoming the person you need to be to get to where you want to go. The struggles aren't there to break you. They're there to make you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the success that's waiting for you on the other side. In the face of adversity, when everything seems to be falling apart, we often discover a strength within us that we never knew existed. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to question our abilities, or to think that we've reached the limit of what we can handle. But the truth is, it's during those dark and difficult moments that we learn what we're really made of. The challenges we encounter reveal parts of ourselves that might otherwise remain hidden. In those moments of struggle, we are forced to confront our fears, our weaknesses, and our doubts. And it's in doing so that we find our true strength. Strength is not something that's automatically given to us when things are easy. It's not something that comes naturally when we are coasting along and everything is going smoothly. Real strength is forged in the fires of hardship. It's built through the times when we have no choice but to keep going, when the road ahead is unclear, and when every step feels like a battle. These are the moments that force us to dig deep inside ourselves, to push past our limitations, and to tap into something more than what we thought we were capable of. You see, when life is good and everything is aligned, it's easy to be confident. It's easy to feel strong when the world around you is supporting you, when things seem to fall into place effortlessly. But that kind of confidence is fragile. It's the kind that depends on circumstances, and it can be taken away in an instant. Real strength, on the other hand, is built through adversity. It's the kind that's not dependent on external factors, but is rooted deep within us, formed by the challenges and setbacks we face. When we go through tough times, we often feel like we're losing. It can feel like the world is conspiring against us, or that the weight of everything is too much to bear. But these are the times when we need to recognize that the challenges are not just obstacles, they are opportunities. Opportunities to build resilience, to grow stronger, and to prove to ourselves that we are capable of much more than we give ourselves credit for. It's in facing adversity head on that we learn how to rise, how to persevere, and how to handle whatever comes our way. Every challenge, no matter how daunting it may seem, is a chance to grow, to develop the mental and emotional toughness that will serve us well throughout our lives. Resilience isn't something that comes easily or quickly. It's not something you can snap your fingers and acquire. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to stand tall after you've been knocked down, to keep going when the going gets tough. It's the skill to adapt to change, to learn from mistakes, and to embrace failure as a lesson, not a setback. This ability to endure and keep moving forward is something that adversity cultivates. The more challenges we face and overcome, the stronger we become, because each time we rise, we reinforce the foundation of our inner strength. It's also through adversity that we learn who we really are. When things are easy, it's easy to put on a mask and pretend we have it all together. But when the storm hits, when we face hardship and uncertainty, that's when our true character is revealed. The way we handle challenges exposes our inner traits, whether we are patient, whether we persevere, whether we are adaptable. We don't learn these things about ourselves when things are going well. We learn them when the pressure is on, when we are pushed to our limits and forced to face our own weaknesses. The thing about adversity is that it demands growth. It doesn't give us the luxury of staying stagnant. It forces us to evolve, to adapt, and to rise to the occasion. When you're faced with a problem, when you hit a roadblock, you can either let it break you or you can use it to push forward. The choice is yours, but the one thing you can't do is stand still. That's the power of adversity. It forces you to move, to act, and to find solutions. And in doing so, you become better, sharper, and more equipped for the challenges ahead. When you go through hardships and come out the other side, you emerge not just as someone who survived, but as someone who's grown through the process. Adversity may bring pain, but it also brings wisdom. It teaches us lessons that no success can provide. Success might feel good in the moment, but it's the tough times that teach us how to keep our feet on the ground, how to stay humble, and how to never take anything for granted. The hard days, the failures, the disappointments, they help us understand what truly matters and show us what we're capable of when everything is on the line. Adversity doesn't care about your plans or your timeline. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It simply comes, often when you least expect it. But in that unpredictability lies its power. Life is not always about knowing exactly what will happen next or having everything under control. Sometimes it's about finding the strength to keep moving forward even when the future seems uncertain, when the path is unclear, and when nothing is guaranteed. It's about finding the courage to continue to fight for what you believe in and to trust that in the end, the strength you gain through the struggle will lead you to the place where you need to be. So the next time you find yourself facing adversity, don't shy away from it. Don't wish it away. Recognize it for what it is, a chance to discover your true strength. Understand that the challenges you face are the very things that will build you into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Embrace the struggle, because it's in those moments of difficulty that you truly learn who you are and what you're capable of. And when you emerge from the other side, you'll realize that the strength you've gained is not just about surviving the storm, but about learning how to dance in the rain. We often hear people say that life is full of ups and downs, and while it may sound cliche, it holds a deep truth. In our pursuit of happiness and success, we sometimes forget the fundamental role that contrast plays in shaping our experiences. It's easy to take the good days for granted when they come in abundance, when everything seems to be going your way. But it's in the quiet moments of peace, the days where things feel effortlessly smooth, that we often forget the effort and struggles that led us here. It's only after facing adversity that we can truly understand the value of the good days. Without the bad days, the difficult moments, and the times of struggle, we would not fully appreciate the joy of the good days. The beauty of life comes in the balance between light and dark, joy and sorrow, peace and chaos. Imagine living in a world where every day was perfect, where every moment was filled with joy, success, and ease. At first it might sound like paradise, but over time you would likely find that such perfection would lose its meaning. The absence of hardship, of struggle, would make the good moments feel hollow and fleeting. It's the contrast between struggle and victory, between failure and success, that gives life its depth and significance. Without the bad days, we wouldn't have a true sense of what the good days mean. Think about the last time you experienced a difficult time, a period of doubt or hardship. During those moments, it often feels like everything is falling apart, like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of frustration. But eventually, after you've weathered the storm, something incredible happens. The good days come back, and you feel a sense of gratitude that you didn't have before. That feeling of appreciation, of relief, is born from the very struggle you went through. The pain you endured gives you a new lens through which to view the world. It makes the good days shine brighter because you know what it took to get there. You've earned those moments of peace, those moments of joy, and they hold a deeper meaning because of the road you traveled to reach them. Life is often unpredictable. There are moments when everything seems to be going according to plan, and then suddenly things take a turn. You might lose something important, face a setback, or encounter an unexpected challenge. These moments are jarring and uncomfortable. It's hard to understand why they happen or what purpose they serve. But with time, you come to realize that these bad days, while difficult, are necessary. They are the moments that test your resilience, your patience, and your character. And when you finally emerge from them, when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, the good days seem even more precious. The process of enduring hardship builds a deep appreciation for the simple pleasures of life. A person who has been through a rough period and comes out the other side is often more capable of finding joy in the small things. A quiet moment with a loved one, a beautiful sunset, a victory, no matter how small, after working hard for it. The satisfaction and gratitude that arise from these simple moments wouldn't be as profound if they didn't stand in stark contrast to the challenges that came before them. When you've felt pain, you can appreciate pleasure. When you've been lost, you can recognize the joy of finding your way. On the flip side, when we experience success without facing challenges, it's easy to take it for granted. We don't always stop to acknowledge how fortunate we are or how much effort went into achieving that success. It's only when we've struggled, when we've failed, when we've fought through our hardest moments that we come to appreciate what we have. A person who's been through a difficult journey can look back at their accomplishments with gratitude, knowing how much they fought for every small victory. Furthermore, bad days teach us important lessons that enrich our lives. It's in the moments of struggle that we learn about our strengths and weaknesses. We learn how to handle adversity, how to persevere, and how to adapt when things don't go as planned. We discover what truly matters to us, and we uncover parts of our character that we might not have known otherwise. These lessons stay with us, and when the good days come, we carry them with us. We know how to handle success with humility, how to enjoy happiness without taking it for granted, and how to savor moments of peace, because we've seen what it's like when those moments are hard to come by. There is a deeper richness to life when we can look at both the good and bad days and understand that they are both part of the same journey. Life doesn't always offer us a choice between the two. We can't control when the bad days arrive or how long they will last, just as we can't always predict when the good days will come. But we can choose how we respond to both. By embracing the bad days, by allowing ourselves to feel the pain, the frustration, or the sadness, we allow ourselves the opportunity to grow. And when the good days return, we are better equipped to appreciate them. In the end, it's not about seeking a life free of struggle or hardship. It's about learning to navigate both the bad days and the good with grace and appreciation. It's about recognizing that every part of the journey, even the difficult moments, contributes to the richness of the experience. Without the bad days, the good ones would lose their significance. The contrast between struggle and victory, hardship and joy, is what makes life meaningful. And it's in that balance, in that appreciation for both sides of the journey, that we find true fulfillment and contentment. Bad days, though inevitable, are not the final word in your story. While they might feel overwhelming and defeating in the moment, they don't define who you are. It's not the hard times that shape your destiny, but how you choose to rise above them. Life has a way of testing us, throwing obstacles and setbacks in our path, but it's in those moments that our true character is revealed. When everything seems to be falling apart, when you're faced with what feels like an insurmountable challenge, that's when your strength is tested. The key to overcoming these tough times lies in perseverance, the ability to continue moving forward despite the difficulties you face, the ability to see beyond the current struggle and believe that a better day is ahead. Perseverance is not just about simply getting through the bad days. It's about actively choosing to move forward no matter how hard it might seem. It's about deciding that you won't let one setback, one failure, or one difficult moment dictate your future. There will always be moments of doubt, moments when it feels like the road is too long or the climb too steep. But what separates those who succeed from those who give up is the choice to keep going, even when the path is unclear. Perseverance is the difference between accepting defeat and pushing forward with determination, knowing that the obstacles you face today are temporary, and that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. There's an undeniable power in persistence. The willingness to keep moving forward when things get tough has a compounding effect. Each time you rise after a fall, you gain a little more strength. You learn something new about yourself, about your limits, and about how much you can really endure, and with each lesson you become better equipped to handle the next challenge that life presents. The more you persevere, the more confident you become in your own abilities. You start to see failure not as something to fear, but as a stepping stone to success. With perseverance, what seems like an insurmountable challenge today becomes a lesson learned tomorrow. But here's the thing, perseverance doesn't mean pushing through with blind stubbornness. It's not about forcing yourself to keep going without reflection. Perseverance means knowing when to adapt, to change course, to learn from your mistakes, and to move forward with more wisdom. It's about understanding that every failure has a lesson in it, and those lessons build the foundation for greater triumphs. Failures don't mark the end of your journey, they mark the beginning of a new chapter, one where you're better prepared to succeed. The journey to success is rarely linear. There are always twists and turns, setbacks and delays. But what perseverance teaches us is that the end result is not always determined by how fast we move, but by how consistently we keep moving forward. Success is not a destination, but a journey made up of countless steps, each one bringing us closer to where we want to be. The key is to take those steps, no matter how small they might seem at the time. It's the steady accumulation of effort, the refusal to quit, that ultimately leads to the breakthrough moments that define our successes. Every time we rise from a failure or setback, we learn how to be more patient with ourselves. The frustration of not seeing immediate results can be disheartening, but perseverance teaches us the value of taking things one step at a time. Often, success comes not when we are pushing hardest, but when we learn to trust the process, to continue doing the right things day in and day out. The results may not always be immediate, and they may not come in the way we expect, but over time, the seeds of our perseverance grow into something powerful. It's easy to get caught up in the feeling of defeat when things go wrong. It's natural to feel like you've reached your limit, like everything is falling apart, and that maybe it's time to quit. But it's in those moments of doubt, when you feel like you can't keep going, that perseverance is most important. It's about finding the strength to keep going when every part of you is telling you to stop. It's about shifting your mindset, reframing the situation, and reminding yourself that failure is just another part of the process. You don't have to have everything figured out today. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving forward. When you're in the middle of a tough time, it can feel like the bad days will never end. But the key to making it through is to focus not on the struggle itself, but on the fact that you are moving forward, step by step, towards something greater. Every time you get back up after a fall, you're building resilience. Every time you keep pushing forward despite the odds, you're gaining experience. And over time, those small, consistent efforts compound into something much larger than you might realize in the moment. It's through perseverance that you turn failure into success, that you turn struggle into growth, and that you turn setbacks into triumphs. People who are successful aren't necessarily the ones who never faced failure, but the ones who faced failure, struggled through hardship, and kept going anyway. They understand that success is not about avoiding mistakes, but about learning from them and using those lessons to propel them forward. With perseverance, failure becomes less intimidating. It loses its power to control you because you realize that every setback is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to ultimately rise higher. In the end, it's not the bad days that determine who you are, but how you choose to respond to them. Perseverance is the key to unlocking your potential, to turning challenges into victories, and to achieving the success you desire. It's about never letting the hard days define you, but letting them fuel you. Keep moving forward because every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. And remember, perseverance isn't just about making it through the hard days. It's about emerging stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. Pain is a part of life that no one can truly escape, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental. We all face hardships at some point. It often feels unfair, unrelenting, and sometimes senseless. During our most difficult moments, it can seem as though the world is conspiring against us, testing our limits in ways we never imagined. Yet in the midst of our struggles, there is an undeniable truth that we often fail to see in the moment. Every hardship has a purpose. Even in the worst of times, pain holds within it a lesson that can help us become better, stronger, and more prepared for the success that awaits us. It's easy to dismiss the value of pain when we're right in the middle of it. We're caught up in the emotions of frustration, loss, or confusion, and it can be hard to see beyond our immediate circumstances. But every painful experience carries with it a deeper meaning, even if we can't fully grasp it until much later. Pain is not an enemy. It's a teacher, a guide that, though difficult to bear at times, is working to show us something important about ourselves and the world around us. Without pain, we might never learn some of the most valuable lessons in life. One of the first lessons pain teaches us is resilience. When we're faced with hardship, we often discover a strength inside of us that we didn't know existed. In our darkest moments, when we feel like we can't go on, we're forced to find ways to push through. The process of overcoming challenges, of fighting through adversity, is what builds resilience. It's the ability to bounce back, to rise from the ashes stronger than before. When you face pain head-on, when you refuse to let it defeat you, you build a kind of inner strength that no smooth sailing can ever provide. The more you endure, the more you realize that you have the ability to survive, to thrive, and to emerge even more capable than before. Pain also helps us to gain perspective. In times of struggle, we often find ourselves questioning everything. We wonder why things are happening to us, and we struggle to understand the purpose behind our suffering. But over time, that pain can offer a new lens through which we view the world. We learn not to take things for granted. We become more compassionate toward others who are suffering because we understand what it feels like to be in pain. We start to appreciate the small victories, the moments of peace, and the simple joys of life in a way we might never have if everything had always gone smoothly. Pain can humble us and ground us, teaching us to value what really matters and to recognize the beauty in life's fleeting moments. Through pain, we often learn the importance of patience. It's in our struggles that we realize not everything can be fixed instantly. Not every problem has a quick solution, and not every challenge can be overcome with ease. Pain teaches us that sometimes the only way through a difficult situation is to endure it. It teaches us to be patient with ourselves, to allow ourselves time to heal and grow, and to accept that not everything happens on our timeline. This patience is vital for success, because the road to achievement is rarely fast or straightforward. Those who have endured pain understand that success doesn't come overnight, and they are better equipped to face the long journey ahead, knowing that perseverance and time will eventually lead to results. Perhaps one of the most valuable lessons pain teaches us is self-awareness. When we're struggling, we're often forced to confront parts of ourselves that we'd rather not acknowledge. Our weaknesses, fears, and insecurities come to the surface, and we can no longer ignore them. It's uncomfortable, but it's also an opportunity to learn more about who we are. Pain pushes us to ask hard questions. What are we truly capable of? What do we value most in life? What motivates us to keep going when everything seems lost? These are the questions that pain forces us to answer, and the answers are the keys to unlocking our potential. By facing our fears and confronting our weaknesses, we grow into more complete versions of ourselves, more aware of our strengths and more committed to our personal growth. Every hardship, no matter how intense, also has the potential to reshape our perspective on success. We often think of success as a destination, something to be achieved and celebrated once we've overcome certain hurdles. But pain teaches us that success is not just about reaching a goal or achieving a dream. Success is also about the journey, about the growth that occurs along the way. Each failure, each struggle, each moment of pain is a step towards success because it equips us with the tools we need to succeed. Without pain, we might never develop the wisdom, resilience, or strength necessary to handle the challenges that come with true success. Pain is not an isolated experience. It's an integral part of the human experience. Everyone goes through hardships. No one is exempt. But it's how we respond to that pain, how we choose to use it, that determines our future. Pain can either break us or make us. If we allow it to, pain can be the catalyst for personal transformation, the spark that ignites a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Every difficulty carries with it the potential for growth, for learning, for self-improvement. In the grand scheme of life, every hardship you face has a purpose. It may not feel that way at the moment, but the lessons you learn through pain will stay with you long after the pain has subsided. These lessons prepare you for the success that's waiting for you on the other side. They help you become a more capable, stronger, and wiser version of yourself. Life's most difficult moments are often the ones that shape us the most. They forge in us the qualities that will carry us through to greatness. So even in your darkest moments, when you feel overwhelmed by pain and hardship, know that there is a purpose behind it. You are becoming stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for the success that is waiting for you. Thank you.